Joining us now is national political reporter at The Hill, Julia Manchester, and NewsNation contributor and senior advisor to the DGA Group, Chris Cillizza. Great to have you both with us. Chris, how much are these three races a referendum on Trump? We just heard Governor DeSantis say not at all. What do you say?
Well, I guess it depends where you stand. So if Democrats do better than expected, they will say this is a rejection of Donald Trump and Elon Musk and everything they represent. Republicans will deny that. The truth, I think, Elizabeth, usually in these situations is somewhere in the middle. I think you said something really important in your intro. You talked about low turnout. So the truth of these kind of elections, right, April in an off year, they're usually low turnout affairs which pit the conservative base against the liberal base. Who can turn their vote out better? The reason that Republicans are probably going to win in Florida is not because the Republican base is particularly enthusiastic. There's just so many more Republicans in those two districts than there are Democrats, which is why Wisconsin may actually be the truest test of sort of base enthusiasm. I do think we often see this, but look, Democrats are out of power at every level. So they are agitating and wanting to get back into power. The Republicans are in control. They're a little bit fat and happy, politically speaking. Yeah. This happens every time one party wins a majority. So we'll see. My guess is in Wisconsin, I look at Wisconsin most. That to me is the one. It's a swing state. It's a statewide election here. $100 million has been spent on it. I think that's the one that's key.
All right, Julia, let's talk about that for a second. Musk and his groups have, spent more than $25 million on this race. It's this deciding vote on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The Democratic candidate has framed this as the world's richest man trying to buy our election. Musk flew out there this weekend, was wearing a cheese head on stage, handed out $1 million checks to people who will vote against the Democratic candidate. Is she right about this? Is this a really rich guy trying to buy the race?
Well, she wants to make that narrative, and you're going to see Democrats really seeking to take that narrative, and drive it forward regardless of what happens tonight. It's interesting. We've seen Elon Musk pour so much money into this race, but a lot of Republican operatives I've talked to in Wisconsin have really been lowering expectations to me, actually, over the past few days, the past few weeks, saying that, this should be a race that Democrats should be able to win. And if they lose, that's essentially their problem. They point to the fact, and, Republicans in Florida will say this too, even though they're much more favored to win in Florida. They say, look, the Republican base right now is content. They look at Washington and see President Trump in the White House, and they see Republicans in control in the House and the Senate. They're not fired up the same way Democrats are. And if you have Elon Musk traveling to Wisconsin, being such a presence in Wisconsin, making this a national spectacle of a story to the point where he's saying Western civilization depends on this special election state Supreme Court race, I think that gives Democrats a lot of fodder to make this race in many ways about Elon Musk.
By the way, it's worth noting Musk has literal skin in the game in this race. Tesla has a lawsuit right now that's working its way through the Wisconsin court system. And here's the problem. Musk is unpopular in Wisconsin with both Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, and I would say that Musk is really unpopular across the board nationally as well. That's why you're seeing
not just Wisconsin.
Democrats. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's why you're seeing Democrats just continuing really to lean into this anti-Musk message. You've also seen it really in Florida as well. And a number of these town halls, I would argue, that we've seen Democrats holding in Republican districts. Now, of course, Republicans will say those are democratically organized events by the party. But you're seeing a lot of backlash to Elon Musk and Doge, and Democrats want to tap into that.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.